never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. You're watching Buster Unmasked, and it is one cold-ass January evening. I'm going to tell you right now, look, guys, we got an awesome show coming up for you. Look, there's a lot of talk about royal families in the wrestling business, and I've been thinking about this, and I think my guest tonight, honestly, I think we got to start looking at his family as one of these royal families of the wrestling business, especially around our area. But look, guys, before we get to our guest, man, I got a lot of podcasts coming up through March right now. There's a few more that I ain't actually got thumbnails made up yet, but I need to promote these podcasts. I want everybody to check them out. I made a little slideshow type thing. Let's check that out, promoting these podcasts. We'll be right back after that, and we'll get our guest on here.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine. From pain, it's a blessing, new focus, no guessing. Just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drag the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them.
All right, guys, y'all seen it right there, booked up through March. I've got a couple more that actually I ain't got the thumbnails made yet, waiting on some promo pics to add to that list, but we got a lot going on this year. Man, Buster Unmasked, I plan on putting podcast in the can all year long. I'm going to take maybe 2 months off. I know I'm going to take this coming December off, and somewhere in the middle of the year, I'm going to take a month off, but other than that, it's down to business. We're going to do what we can to bring you some of the very best podcasts and some of the very best guests you can possibly see anywhere. And tonight's no exception. Let me just say this. My guest tonight This guy has been a mainstay of the wrestling industry around the Memphis Mid-South area for 3 decades, pretty much. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. And West Tennessee, this guy is a legend around West Tennessee area. There's no doubt about it. This guy right here, he is the patriarch of the Roberts clan. He's a wrestler. His dad was a wrestler. His 2 sons are wrestlers. These guys are all over the place. And like I said, I'm feeling like when you talk about royal wrestling families, I think we got to throw these guys in. And like I said, this is the guy. This is the main dog. This is daddy of them all. The one and only Big Red Roberts. Red.
Thanks for having me on.
What's up, dude?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just sitting around, chilling out, waiting on you to get me on here.
Man, I know it took a little while. We trying to change things up, dude. I'm waiting on a new intro for the show getting made up and a new logo. I'm sick of the old logo. Gonna try to do it better than we did it last year, man. And it started with your boy Aaron Sunday. We're here with you next week. Next Wednesday, I'm gonna have Cordell. We're gonna hit the whole Roberts family. But it's you right now, Red, man. You've had a busy 2.5, 3 years, man. Over that time, you started your own wrestling company with your sons. You and your boys had a hell of a run in Memphis wrestling, man. That had to have been cool as hell. You've had some health issues. And then here recently, most recently, baby boy got that call, man. I know that had to feel good. But when we kick it off, Red, tell us a little bit about you yourself, kind of how you got into business, when you started wrestling, and then we'll just go from there, dude. You kind of know how I do it.
You know, I've been around wrestling my whole life. My dad and Rocker's dad was wrestling when we was 7, 8 years old. And we've always wrestled around in the ring at the Finley down here. And we never really trained. We just was always the guinea pigs. Whenever Rocker's dad would train somebody, he'd be like, come here, let me show you how to do this on these 2 guys. It's just,
right.
So that's basically how we train. We didn't really get trained by nobody. It was just trained by being a guinea pig. And then we wrestled. Me and Rocker put the ring up every day in the cold weather. Like right now, if we was young, that ring was going up in that backyard, and me and Rocker was out in that backyard working out every day.
Y'all's ass off.
Freezing our ass off. We didn't care. And we didn't care. We froze our ass off. We put the ring up. We'll take it down. Next day, same thing. And then my first match in front of a live crowd, other than family reunion stuff, it was on my 14th birthday in Humboldt, Tennessee, against
14
Rocker.
years old, man. I think everybody in damn Tennessee, especially West Tennessee, Dyersburg, wherever, I think everybody starts when they're 13 or 14, some even younger, dude. It seems like all of y'all do.
Yeah. I mean, wrestling saved me. When I was in high school, people were like, what'd you do this weekend? I was like, oh, not much. They'd be talking about what they did, and I'd be like, so where'd you go? I was like, I was in Arkansas wrestling Friday night, then Saturday night I was in Missouri wrestling somewhere. They'd be like, oh, hell, you was out of town all weekend. So that's what we did. And they think about what they did on the weekend. And when I tell them what I did, they'd be like, well, we didn't do shit like that. We didn't stay around Dyersburg.
Right,
but
right.
There's nothing to do here, so that's what we chose to do.
Look, we got Mark McGee. Mark McGee with us. He said, what's up, brothers? What's up, Mark? Glad you're watching. So let's talk about that for a minute, Red. I mean, y'all always had a wrestling ring. That has to be a draw to the neighborhood. When that ring goes up, I feel like every kid in the neighborhood comes running, man.
Yeah, but we wouldn't allow too many people over. We didn't like too many people, so we told them to get the hell out of our yard. And if they didn't get out, we beat them up.
Well, there you go. And because I know your dad, Rocker's dad, he was actually the first guy to ever give me and my brother a payoff in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I know he's old school. So I know there was still, he was keeping kayfabe alive for you guys.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I'll say something. I remember that. I won't say it's probably your very first match that you had was me and Rocker, was it?
Dude, I had done some battle royals. I'd done a couple of little run-in spots, but never had a match. Yes, sir. You and Rocker against me and Rick Robinson, I think's who it was. Yes.
And I will say something on your intro. when I seen Sam kicking the shit out of I forgot who it was. I thought about that. I was like, I remember them damn cowboy boots going to my ribs that night. Like, Sam, loosen up, kid.
Here's the problem. You know, later on, he finally had those boots and got some crate soles put on them that didn't have no heel. When he got your ass, them boots still, they were just straight biker boots. They still had the heel on them, and I remember that. I'm thinking, I'm the one being stiff, and I'm watching Sam kick you in the ribs out on the floor, and man, I could see the damn heel of that boot was just catching you every time.
Yeah, I was like, damn, kid, like, loosen up. Well, he wasn't a kid. He was an old man to us, but I mean,
right.
Kid in the business. But I was like, damn, lighten up. Easy.
Dude, we didn't have no clue what none of that meant. We didn't know what the fuck lighten up meant, red. None of that shit.
But you know, that's one thing I always said about you. And you never complained about me. Every time we ever worked each other, we were stiff as fuck.
You know, here's the thing. I didn't. There's a difference in being stiff and snug and trying to hurt somebody. I believe.
Yeah, it is. That's it.
Look, I can look back now and think, yeah, man, when I was young, I was big kid, raw boned. I had a lot of energy. I was really aggressive. So I can see I probably was a little stiffer a lot of times than I could have been. But to me, that's all part of the learning process, man. You gotta figure this business out, man. I was just wrestling the way I was trained because they didn't smarten us up.
No, but I mean, myself and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that I worked. If you don't lay it in on me, I'm not selling it. If I don't feel it, I'm not selling.
Right.
Touch me. Let me feel it.
Yeah,
I need to feel what you're doing.
Exactly. I just want it to look good, man. Here's my thoughts, especially on forearms and stuff like that. And especially if you're outside by the fans, I don't want to lay a forearm in on somebody or have somebody lay one in on me and the fans think, well, I could take that. My first thought is when you smack me with a forearm, I want it to be hard enough and make enough noise where anybody who's seen it, the first thing they think is, oh, hell no, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Yeah, that's it.
You
and
know?
I'll say, every time you ever hit me, I guarantee the fans said that. And every time I hit you, the fans said that.
Man, I was just thinking about the thing at Peppermint Pond during the KAW time where I slipped through the door and got you with the chair and you got the color, but the first time it didn't bleed good, so we were down doing something. I said, man, you got to get it again. That second time, man, it was all over the place. But yeah, man, I'm the same way, dude. That's just how I was brought up. And like I said, they didn't smarten us up at all, man.
No.
Not one bit. They didn't smarten us up to anything. They trained you, and in training, if you wasn't physical, they'd get on your ass about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the truth. And Rocker's Dad was the first one. He'll be on your ass in a minute.
I don't know if the show we actually worked with y'all that we even got paid on. I think it was a show after that, or maybe two. I want to say maybe it was in Paraguay somewhere. It was a Don Bass show, but your dad was the payoff guy. He was the one that brought everybody their envelopes. Look, we didn't get enough that we even got an envelope. He just old school hand shook us our bullshit, man. But first payday, man, he could have kept that shit, Red. I'll be honest with you.
That's me, I don't care.
So look, man, before we go ahead, Red.
I was gonna say, when I do shows now, if I get paid off to my boys with me, I give it to them half time anyway. So,
well, let's talk about that, man. Like I said, you've been busy. You and your boys been busy over the last 2.5, 3 years. Before we get into the wrestling, let's talk about the health issues, because I've seen you over the last several months, maybe 5 or 6, maybe even a little longer. You've been having some little issues, but then yesterday or the day before, I seen a post that said you think you got a few more matches in you, at least one more. So talk to us about what's going on, man.
Yeah, I just had a lot of problems, just a lot of blood pressure problems in my heart. I got a main valve in my heart. And so, but I'm good. I want to do some more. I'm tired of sitting home. Like I told my wife and my mom earlier, I said, look here, if something happens to me in the ring, I die in the ring. I die doing what I love.
Man, it is hard. I don't think people realize, and I think some people's different. That's like Derek. I got Derek coming on the podcast Friday. And Derek has been doing this constantly since he started, which you have too. Other people have taken sabbaticals. Hell, I took a 10-year sabbatical, man. Left the business and just never came back until I came back and started filming. So talk to me about that. How hard is it when you've done this your whole life and then you kind of can't do it? Talk to me about how hard it is to set it home. And we're in West Tennessee, so every Friday and Saturdays, every Saturday for sure, there's several wrestling shows going on. And then there's Friday's got a couple every Friday. So talk to me about that, man.
Yeah, it's just, some weekends it's hard when I sit at home, but then some weekends I'm thinking, man, I'm enjoying this not going wrestling. But it's just, over time it gets worrisome. Especially when going every weekend, 3 or 4 nights a week, I got burned out on that quick.
Right.
We was doing that. We leave Dyersburg on Thursday afternoon after we get off work, go wrestling, come home, wrestle, work Friday, go back Friday night, wrestle, come home Saturday, work, go back Saturday night, wrestle, then wrestle Sunday night and somewhere else, and then come home. And now it's like, I'm happy to be home, but again, I'm not. Sometimes I want to go. I'm ready. I want to go. But I don't want to go too much because I don't know what I can and can't do.
Right.
So I just, like me and the boys talked about, just got to pace myself.
Yeah,
just got to build it up for something. Can't just go do something, just be doing it.
That's bumps too. And look, if you're like me, because that's kind of something I prided myself on, I like to bump. I love to bump, man. But the older you get, the more careful and smarter you got to work. Your body can't take that abuse that it used to take.
Yeah, no. But see, I don't bump for a lot of people. I'll bump for you all day long. I bump for my boys all day long. But I'm not gonna bump for just anybody, just over and over and over. Right. You gotta work for me to bump for you.
Right.
I'm not gonna bump off of one punch. I'll bump off of one punch from you, or like when I work for K Toomer, one punch from K Toomer. But most people, I'm not gonna bump off one punch. So it don't make sense.
You know those saying, everybody, you only got so many bumps on your bump card. You believe that?
That's what I heard. That's what I hear all the time.
That's what you hear, huh? 30 years in the business, and that's what I hear, man. So look, Red, like I said, man, you've been busy. You've had some health issues that kind of pulled you out of the ring, and you're thinking about coming back at least for a match here and there if you can, if it goes good. But also over the past couple of years, you opened up Legacy Pro Wrestling, you and your boys. So let's talk about that for a while. Talk about the decision, you making the decision to open your own wrestling company, because you didn't just start a company. You invested. You bought a brand new ring, trailer, all this stuff. Talk to me. I know that had to have been a big decision. Wrestling ain't cheap, dude.
No, it ain't, and it's not. It wasn't cheap at all. It was just something me and the boys talked about, and I went to my wife and talked to her, and she was down for it. If she would have said no, it would never happen. Because I'm not that type of person. If the wife says no, then no, don't happen on financial stuff.
Right.
But she was down for it, and the boys was down, and so it just fell in place. And the first show I was supposed to have my ring for the first show, but they didn't have it made in time. So of course, Mark, I give Mark his props. He let me use his ring and all his equipment. His ring and everything. And then it just fell in place that first show, and it was a good show to me, I think. We ran a lot of shows. We ran like once a month, and it was good. We had a good time. And I hated that we had to shut it down, but it just renting buildings around here is just so expensive. And my I had sponsors, but they was there one time. The next time I can't do it this month. But it was there and it wasn't. But I hated to shut it down, but we enjoyed it while it lasted.
Yeah, man, y'all had some good shows. I think I might have been on filmed the first show. If not, it was one of the first shows.
I think you might did record the first show. James Storm was there on the first one in Dyersburg.
Yes, I did then.
Yeah.
But I thought y'all ran good shows. Ran a lot of shows over that period of time. How long were you actually open? Right at a year?
We ran for almost 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah, we was almost 2 years.
Okay, let me ask you this then. All right, you make the decision to go on and commit to this and all that. And like you said, man, here at mid last year, closer to the end, me and Sam had tossed around the idea of starting a show at least. I don't
Yeah.
want to call it a company because, you know, but a show. But man, I went to looking at buildings and trying to price buildings. God, Red, they are ridiculous. The same buildings that we would have paid $175, $200 for back in the day are $600 now.
Yeah.
And man, we looked around and looked around. We actually even looked around and had the idea to maybe buy a building somewhere around Dresden because that's where I'm at, and we just couldn't find nothing that was feasible. You know what I mean? That we wanted to commit to that kind of commitment to. But what I'm getting at is, was it worth the headache, Red? Because you know as well as I do, it's one thing to be a wrestler, be a talent, go there, wrestle. It's another thing when you're running the show. You got to deal with everything, like you said, your sponsors, your ring rental if you rent a ring, building rental, advertisements, and most of all, you got to deal with the boys. So talk to me about that, man. Was it more of a headache than you thought it would be, or was it less of a headache?
Nah, I knew what it was going to be, and I don't regret it one bit. I mean, because I was with my boys. We was at every one of my shows. Me and the boys, we worked on it together.
Right.
Cordell, and Aaron, we worked on it together. They ran most of the show. I didn't really do much. I done what they told me to. I threw in my 2 cents every now and then, and they told me no. I said, okay, whatever y'all want to do. So yeah, it was worth the headache. I'm not gonna deny it.
Well,
I would do it again if I could.
I'm with you, dude. Man, I just ain't. Here's what I'm getting at. It's a hell of a commitment. You made a hell of a commitment when you purchased a new ring, trailer, all this stuff. What is the deal with? How do you run a successful wrestling show nowadays? Economically, because like I said, everything's twice as high than it was 20 years ago. So how do you run a profitable, successful wrestling show? Can you?
I think you could if you had sponsors that you would actually sign to a contract that would guarantee their money every month, and
Right.
you had a good, like, if you could find a building to rent that wasn't a monthly building, like TIW's got their building, they rent. I mean, they've been there for 16 years.
Right.
So if you can find a building like they have, yes, I think you could be profitable. But trying to run a show, rent a building at Dyersburg every month, that's $600 a night to rent a building, plus your insurance. So yeah, I believe overall you could make it money. And believe me, every one of the guys that work for me, I took care of them. A lot of them left with no PO, but they told me no. I was going out of my pocket to give them money. They said no, I don't want it.
Yeah,
I believe you can run a successful show if you got the time to focus on it as much as you need to. That's your biggest issue.
Well, let me ask you this, because I had always kind of been a proponent of weekly shows, but since I've been back around the business, I've kind of changed my philosophy, and I kind of like I've seen certain shows that only run once a month, and they're able to create bigger shows. They're able to promote them longer and better. And here's my philosophy: if you can draw 300 people once a month, it's better than drawing 75 people a week for 4 weeks. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, you're not spending. Randy's a different deal. Same thing with Osceola, because they got their own building. They're already set up. But if you're just renting a place, man, I have become a big proponent of going once a month and trying to put on a better show, advertise it better, promote it better. And I'd rather draw 300 people once a month than 75 a week and draw 300 a month over 4 shows,
That's true. It looks better on you too.
Well, and here's the thing, like you said, $600 on the building alone, and if I remember right, at first legacy tickets I think were $10.
$8.
$8. Okay, so that's even that mean I was gonna say, so you gotta sell 60 tickets just to pay for the building alone. But with it being $8, you gotta sell more like 70 tickets just to pay for the building.
Right.
You know, and then you still got, like you said, your talent. If you've had to rent a ring, you've got those expensive. I mean, truthfully, running a wrestling show, I kind of was playing with some numbers. You know, if you want to pay your boys good, decent, and with the ring, with the rental and everything it is now, you're looking at $1,500 or $2,000 minimum just to run a show.
Yeah, a month, yes. But one show a month, yeah.
Right, and it's just hard, man. Everything's so expensive, dude. But I thought y'all did great, man. I always enjoyed Legacy. I thought y'all had some really good shows. Like you said, you had James Storm in, Marco Stun a time or two. Y'all brought a couple of boys in tag team one time that I thought was fucking awesome.
I think their name. I think the name was Premier.
Premier, man.
I think they were from Kansas City.
Man, those guys were ready for TV right then.
Oh yeah, they was good.
Yes, they was real good, man. But I thought Legacy was a good company. I thought y'all did good. I hated to see y'all shut it down, but I fully understand, man. Running a wrestling show is expensive as hell, and it can be a headache too.
Yeah.
You know. So look, Red, let's move on to Memphis Wrestling. This had to have been a highlight for you in your whole wrestling career and in your personal life because, man, you and your two boys, along with Justin Case, y'all had a heck of a run for a while there at Memphis Wrestling. Let's talk about that for a minute. How did you like that, man? How did it feel to be there with your boys, man?
I enjoyed it. That's probably the best thing I've ever done in wrestling. I'm not gonna lie. If I never done nothing else again after that, I would be happy.
Yeah, I mean, you waited what, 30 years to really come and get on TV. You Golden and them out in the yard trying to force you to go to TV and shit. You just won't go. And you wait till you 30 years later to get on TV. But when you did, man, I have to say, I'm like you. I thought it was really cool to see. Had to be cool as a dad to be there with your boys on TV on Memphis Wrestling. I mean, when you did decide to dip your toe in, you dipped it in big, dude.
Yeah. Aaron called me and Cordell and asked us if we was interested, and we both agreed on. So yes, we are. So he's like, this is what we're doing. I got it worked out, and so this is when y'all need to be there so we can do this deal. And I was like, we'll be there.
Yeah, and man, so, it was cool, dude. How long did y'all actually? What y'all run? About 4 months?
No, we was almost a year.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You know, time flies. But yeah, I thought it was
probably 9 months, maybe. At least 9 months.
I thought it was awesome, man. Y'all wasn't just doing TV. You were going around working the other shows that Memphis Wrestling was running too. What was it like, man, for you to just be on TV, man? You waited all those years.
It was very interesting. Very fun. I enjoyed it. I give Dustin his props. He let us pretty much do what we wanted. He told us, this is what we want to go. This is what y'all tell us what y'all want to do, and we done it.
Right.
And so, but I enjoyed it.
Mark McGee's back with us. He said, I wish time would stand still when I'm down so I can hit up more shows. Mark actually came down towards the end of last year, man. Came to MCW, came to American Hostile. I think maybe he hit up another show, right, Mark? If you hit up another show, let us know if I didn't get both of them.
Well, I seen him post on Facebook the other day that he'll be back in Osceola pretty soon.
Yeah, man, think about that. This dude's coming from New Jersey, is it, Mark?
Yeah, I think so.
To come to Osceola and come to Missouri and watch wrestling, man. That's dedicated-ass wrestling fan right there, Red.
Yeah.
See, if we had about 300 Marks, we could really run a company, Red.
Yeah, 300 of him and 300 of Daniel Lopez. Had that bicycle everywhere.
Man, that kills me. I was on one of his lives guess it was Sunday because he went to the Memphis taping first, and then I seen him go on over to Minglewood Hall for their show. I don't see how that dude does it, man. That damn bike, he'll be live and his ass will be rolling, man.
Yeah, gotta have a charge on that bicycle, that phone.
Man, hey, that's dedication right there too, man. Especially as cold as it is right now, man.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to ride a bicycle to watch somebody wrestle.
So look, man, you had your stint with your kids. Y'all ran your own company for a while. Now both of your boys, man, Cordell steady slipping down, but every pound he loses, he seems to gain an inch in height. It looks like to me. Cordell's a giant. He's starting to work all over the place again. I know he's been working at UCW in Union City for, I guess, on and off since it started back up. Talk to me about Cordell, man, getting out there and on his own and branching out and working these shows.
I mean, he's doing really good. I'm like I said, I'm happy he's getting out doing other things other than staying at one place, because he had a habit for a while, like I did, pretty much, of just staying at one show. Never, I ain't going nowhere else. I'm just going to stay here. And then he finally went on his own and just started doing what he wanted to do, and just been happy with the show.
Man, he is.
Been happy with himself and doing his own show and wrestling, and that's what he needs to do.
You know, I noticed a change in Cordell when y'all were doing Legacy. When he really started slimming down a lot, man. It's like I don't know, it's almost like he maybe focused in on his wrestling a little more than he had up to that point, or at least during that time.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you on that. I agree. Yeah, I think so too.
And man, Cordell, I've seen Cordell have some really good matches, man. I seen him and Aaron and EOG here sometime last year at TIWF. I wasn't there live. I just seen the match on YouTube. But man, those four guys had a hell of a match, man.
Yeah, and I just watched a match with him and Walker Hayes 2 weeks ago that they done for Poker Face.
Yes.
That's the first time I watched it. It was a good match. Him and Walker had a good match.
Dude, that's one of the best big man matches I had seen. I talked to Cordell or somebody. No, I had Walker on the podcast. And we actually talked about that match, man. Dude, I was glued to that match, man. Both big, huge guys, and it was tit for tat. It wasn't like they were out there laying around on each other. They were constantly moving. Really, really one of the best big man matches I have seen in a long, long time, man.
Yeah, because they made everything they done made it work. They just didn't do it to be doing it. They just didn't throw a clothesline, just be throwing a clothesline for no reason, or punching one of them for no reason. They made it for a reason to punch them. When he punched one of them, they punched for a reason.
And I like that the fact that being both of them are so big, they could bump for each other freely, pretty much, man. If one of them clotheslined the other one, there wasn't nothing to take that bump, man. I thought that was a really, really great match, dude.
I did too. That's like I said. That was the first time I watched it, and so me and Cordell's son and my nephew watched it, and so they enjoyed it.
Man, it was good. Look, Mark's back with us. He says, "Yeah, I'll be back down February 22nd through March 2nd." Coming from New York, Mark, I think, what do y'all got, about 15 feet of snow right now, man? But yeah, dude, come on down, man. I hope American Hostile's got a show going or something during that time, man. We can catch up, dude. He also come back and said MCW and AHCW. I'll be down for AWA, St. Jude, and MCW. So AWA, I guess, is going to be they got a show coming up here in the near future. So Red, man, let's get to the brass tacks, dude. Big Aaron, man, talk to me about this, man. How did you find out that Aaron had gotten the call, man?
Well, like I said, when it first started off, he done a seminar, and he called me that day at the seminar and told me what they said, and so, and they just he kept me in touch all the time. Every time they called him and said something to him, he called me, said, "Dad, they said this is what's going on," and then a couple days later, he called me again, and say, "This is what they told me now." I was like, "Okay," then finally I didn't hear nothing from him for about a week on it. I'm like, hey, have you heard anything? What's going on? I was like, you ain't said nothing. He's like, Dad, they ain't said nothing. He's like, I'm just waiting. I said, okay. Well, another few weeks go by, and I ain't heard nothing. I said, hey, now what's going on? He said, Dad, I ain't heard nothing. He's like, you worried about it than I am, ain't you? I said, I'm ready.
Right.
And then finally when he texted me and told me, I was happy.
Man, I mean, that's a cool thing, Red. Your dad spent his lifetime in wrestling. You did the same thing. You and Rocker both. To have your two boys following you in your footsteps and get in the business, and then finally Aaron, man, makes that breakthrough, dude. It had to have been a really, really great feeling for you as a daddy, man.
Oh, it was a real good feeling. It's I was touched. Still
It's
am.
cool. No, it's a big deal, man. And here's the thing, like you said, the connection kind of happened at a seminar. You know, I hear a lot of people say a lot of things about seminars, and don't get me wrong now, I do see a shitload of seminars with guys who the first thing you think is, well, who the fuck is this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
you pick and choose the right talent, the right seminars to go to. Man, they can lead to something. You can make connections there. Let me ask you this: what do you think it was about Aaron that sealed the deal for him?
Just as overall, he's overall, he's got a good mic spill. He's got good in-ring ability. He can move in the ring. So overall, to me, I think that's what got him. I mean, honestly, he's got the best mic spill of all of us. Me and Rocker was talking about it the other day. Me and Rocker talked about it when it first happened. He's like, he's probably one of the best mic spills of us, of all of us.
He's on right now, dude. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, he's on it now. I mean, I think he stepped up better now since he got that, because some of the promos he has been doing, he's just been like really stepped on it.
Yes, the New Wave promo, the first one where they were kind of introduced. Man, I thought that was. I mean, look, that's a reoccurring cycle. New wrestlers trying to come in and take over from the old wrestlers, and normally it's blah blah blah. But man, I thought that promo that they cut and Aaron cut, debuting the New Wave, man, I thought it was great. It is one of the best. That's one of the first times I've seen one of those promos around here, and I believed it. And I was behind it. I was like, hell yeah, fuck these old dudes, Red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought he was just off the charts, and I feel like getting that call really boosted Aaron's confidence in himself, too.
Oh yeah, I think so too, 100%. I mean, and all his promos that he's done on his Instagram, he posts more on Instagram and his Twitter than he does anything. But every one of them's been off the chart here lately.
Yeah, right.
So,
one thing I think you're right about everything about Aaron. He's got the size. He can move for a big like that. Most big guys don't move like Aaron. He can work in the ring. Promo and character now. The guy we see now that he's evolved into is off the charts. Really off the charts. But I also believe one of the things that may have sealed the deal for him, I believe he was ready. What I mean by that, I believe that he's got enough experience in the ring. He's been doing this so long. He's been around wrestling his whole life. I don't see no nervousness in him. I'm sure it's in there, but I don't see it at all. He looks cool, calm, and collected, and I feel like that had something to do with him sealing the deal for him, too. I feel like he was just ready, man. It's a big deal, dude.
yeah, I mean, you got to be nervous. I mean, if you go out not nervous, then you're losing it. I mean, everybody still gets nervous when they go to the ring. I mean, I've been doing it for 36 years, and most of the time when I go to the ring, I'm thinking, am I going to be able to make these fans happy?
Right.
And so you still got that nerve all the time. But yeah, he's really stepped up, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of both of my boys.
Well, let me ask you this, because I mean, me and Aaron had a little chatter before we went live Sunday, and I asked him about Cordell. Was he, if what Cordell thought? Cordell? You think maybe Cordell will really focus in and maybe try to shoot for the same thing Aaron did?
I hope he does. I really do. I really do. I hope he does it. Hope he says, let's go with my brother. Let's go. Let's get this together. I really hope
Man,
so. I hope he does.
think about that tag team, dude. Think about them
Yeah.
two dudes together, man. That's two giant dudes, off the charts. They both got plenty of experience. Both of them I believe both of them can handle the pressure. That's one thing I'm seeing in Aaron. It's like, there's got to be added pressure on him now. It's got to be a relief to be validated for all your hard work that you've been doing your whole life, but especially over the last couple of years. But man, the validation, I think, has really, I think he's turned it up to 100 degrees, Red.
Oh yeah. And I'm happy, dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm so freaking happy. They ain't unreal. And
I would be too, dude. It's really cool, man. Red Zilla's with us. He says, "Hi, Big Red Roberts," and nice to you, and nice to you, Big Red Roberts.
What did he say?
Hold on. He said, "Hi, Big Red Roberts," and I don't know nothing about all them emojis. It's like a clap and a thumbs up, some sunglasses. Hey, I'm too old for that shit. And then it says,
Yeah, me too. Speak words.
Nice to you, Big Red Roberts. So, Zilla, we glad you watching, man. Sorry we don't quite understand what the man or woman that we don't quite understand what the point, but we do know. He said, "Hi, Big Red Roberts." Zilla, we appreciate you for watching, man, interacting with us. So let me ask you this, Red. What do you hope for? What do you hope to see happen with Aaron over the next couple of years?
Be at the top of the game is what I'm hoping for.
I know, but we got to stair step a little bit, Red.
But Daddy wants to go all the way to the top already.
Right?
Just keep going what he's doing and just striving. Take it one step at a time. Do what he's doing. Keep doing the independent shows he's done. They let him do. Getting that NXT, making a big example. What he can do, show him what he can do, and then get to that next stage.
Man, I hope they get his ass out of here within the next 6 or 7 months. I do. I hope he is completely. I hope he's completely gone from here and is up there on the show, man. I don't even want to see him around here in 6 or 7 months. I want him to be up there, dude, because I think I believe in Aaron, man. I do, man. There is something different about what he's got going on now. I believe he believes in him. I believe in him. And I think that if they get him the opportunity and get him up there, I think he's going to knock the ball out of the park, Red. I don't know that he's going to go from Memphis Wrestling to the main event of Raw straight, but I think if they...
That's all that he can wish for.
I think if they get him to NXT, I think he'll rise to the top of that. Zilla's back. Big Red Roberts. Your son, the Memphis Wrestling Heritage Champion, the Problem Aaron Roberts. I'm a big fan. There you go. That's what I was telling Aaron. Man, he's really building a fan base. He's building a fan base. I know he's this big, bad, mean, kick your ass dude, but people seem to like him at the same time, man.
Yeah, they still love it. They still like him, but they hate him. They love him. Love-hate relationship.
So look, Red, I got a podcast coming up hold on a minute. It's February 19th with Johnny Dotson and Jason Genesis. It's old school mentality and philosophies versus new school mentality and philosophies. I know you're an old school guy, and I'm only going to ask this question of certain people leading up to this, but you're one of these guys. Let me ask you something. First of all, is there a disconnect between the young guys and the old guys?
To an extent, yes.
Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think that disconnect is?
Some of the younger generation now has no respect. None. Lack of respect to me, I think, is a lot of the younger guys' problems. And I don't think it's them. I think it's that they've not been trained properly to how to walk into a dressing room and greet everybody.
And see, that's what I'm
You were
glad
trained by
said that.
Moondog, right?
No, I was trained by Jeff Jarrett and Tony Falk. But
Okay.
I was trained to wrestle. Like I said, they never smartened us up. I was trained to in ring, but I learned how to work from Moondog. He taught me about the business just watching him and stuff. So
yeah. So, and I think that's where a lot of the younger guys now, they just walk in and like, I ain't talking to none of these guys. I'm here. But I mean, it's not every one of them now. I mean, I'm not going to knock every one of them, but there has been a few that I've seen that done that. And then when somebody says something to them, like they realize what they've done, they go back around and shake everybody's hand. But to me, it's kind of too late to do that.
Right.
To me, when you walk into the dressing room, you should greet everybody's hand. Everybody.
Right.
Nobody. If they're in that locker room, you should greet them.
Right.
With some kind of knowledge. If you're sitting there talking to somebody, at least nod your head and wave at them or something, and give them some kind of respect.
And say, I'm glad you said that about training, not just in-ring training, but dressing room etiquette, pro wrestling etiquette, man. I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel like that. I kind of, how do I say this? I feel like that they're not coming into the same business that you did, I did, where, I mean, guys were blunt with you. If you screwed up, they told you in no uncertain terms. If they wanted to offer you advice, I mean, you better take it, because if you're an asshole to them, back in the day, you could shut your whole career down. You don't shake the right hand, or you piss the wrong guy off in a dressing room, and certain guys can get you blackballed from the whole territory, you know. And I think that goes a long way, man. Just and I don't know. And here's the thing: I want everybody out there to understand: this podcast that we're going to do, it's not a heat podcast. All of us, me, Jason, and Johnny, want to hopefully open up a open line of communication between the older guys and the younger guys, and just wrestlers in general. Jason made the remark. He said, "I feel like we're going to find out we got more in common than we do differently," and I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had conversations with Johnny, and like I told him, one thing I've seen since I've been back around the business, you cannot, it's hard to fault these young guys for not following the same things we did and had to when we were brought in, because most of them wasn't even brought in that way. They don't even know about a lot of this shit. They don't really know about a lot of dressing room etiquette. Going around shaking hands with your veterans, just going around shaking hands with everybody in the dressing room. You know, listening when you're out there, not getting an attitude. I feel like that's where a lot of it is. Look, Zilla's back. He said, Big Red, why are you not at Memphis Wrestling anymore?
Just touch the time up, but you never know. I may be back one day. Who knows?
Ah, man, maybe we'll see a reunion. Maybe we'll see a Roberts family reunion sometime, dude.
Never know.
Zilla's back, said, I love and like and respect, and I appreciate the Memphis Wrestling Heritage Champion, the problem Aaron Roberts. Man, Aaron got a huge fan there, dude. Red, dude, like I told you, I'm trying to cut these podcasts down a little shorter than they used to be. We're at 48 minutes, man. I think we're going to wrap this thing up. Red, man, I appreciate you so much for coming on, giving us your time, man, and just talking to us about wrestling, dude.
Thank you for having me on.
Red, kick Aaron in the ass, kick Cordell in the ass, and maybe we'll see the real Brothers of Destruction in NXT somewhere down the line.
Maybe. Be nice.
That would be nice, dude. Red, you have a great night, my friend.
You too. Thanks.
All right, guys, you seen it right there. Big Red Roberts, the patriarch of the Roberts family. I want to thank everybody who interacted with us, everybody who watched. I'll be back Friday night. Derek King retiring. We're going to talk to Derek and find out, is it for real? Is it the last time? Is it for good? Is Derek out of the wrestling business? Guys, before we get out of here, I want to promote my upcoming podcast one more time, and then we're going to let y'all go.
try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them.
All right, guys, you seen it right there. That's up through March. There's a couple of more podcasts that I hadn't got the thumbnail made up yet. When I do, I'll add them to the list. But we're up through March. We're kicking it off with a bang this year. Thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.